Okay, so this is an instructional video on how to replace your rear bulkheads on your E-Maxx if you've broken them or if you just want to replace them to aluminum ones. This is the 3906 E-Maxx, which also I think you can, it's the same sort of bulkhead and everything for the 2.5 t-maxx and the 1.5. So it's also can be used for that. The 3905 E-Maxx might be a little different. So this is specifically for the 3906 E-Maxx. And so the first step to this process, after you've gotten your bulkheads, and there may be different screws and everything like that, the first step is to remove the wheels, which is just one nut there and one nut there. So just remove those two. Okay, so after you remove the wheels, right there, there, just these two, you can go ahead and put those back on here, just to make sure you don't lose them. Then there's 4 screws to remove the bumper right there. There's 1, 2, 1, 2, then another 1, 2 on the other side. Go ahead and take that off, and that'll be the next step. Okay, so I just undid those 4 screws, took off the rear bumper, and also there's a bulkhead brace right there, which I forgot to tell you, that you can just slide off. That's the bulkhead brace, and the kit might have come with aluminum ones, because sometimes they do offer that option, but mine didn't. So there you go, that's the bulkhead brace, and also a way to keep you from losing screws, you can put these screws back inside these holes, so that way you remember exactly where they go. That's just a little tip. Okay, and the next step right here is to remove skid plate right there. This one has there's 8 screws, as you can see. So remove those 8 screws right there, and then you can remove the skid plate. So that's the next step. Okay, so after you remove the screws for the skid plate basically just comes off like that. Put that down over there. And as you'll notice, this is under the skid plate. Okay, this one is a little bit longer, like part of it is a little bit longer. That's the part that goes towards the end. Okay, and also there is like a little square looking thing. That's to allow the suspension arm to basically move, as you can see. So that's also a little tip on how to put it back together. Okay, and then once you've done that, you can already start to see the bulkhead and the diff and everything like that. So, okay, once you've taken that off, next step is to remove this screw and that screw, which is connected to the tow bar link. I think that's what it's called. But anyways, it's to adjust the toe in, toe out. So just take off that screw, and that's basically a simple, easy next step. Okay, so the next step, after you remove the screws for the toe in and out, right there. The next is to remove the shock tower from the bulkhead by these 4 screws. I am not gonna do it though because it just snapped off from there. This moves freely anyways. And I don't want to mix up any screws or anything, so I'll just keep them anyways. And then as soon as I put the aluminum on it, then I'll switch the screws and everything like that. So then after you've basically removed those, then you can go ahead and remove the bottom suspension A-arms by 1 screw and 1 screw. Do the bottom first because the top one has these clips in there, which is a little bit harder. So just do the easy ones first. Okay, that's the next step. Okay, so the next step after removing the lower A-arm pins, to remove the lower A-arms so that they can move, or take out, is to remove the top ones. The thing with the top ones is that they have a little clip right there, and I think you can see it from here, and right there on the opposite side. So right there. And yeah, right there. So you need to make sure to take out those pins while you're also taking out those clips when you're taking out the pins and screws. And it's only two. 1 and 2. And you're only gonna unscrew it a little bit, just like with the bottom one. Unscrew it like a little bit. That basically gets it out, and you'll notice it won't start coming out. Then you just take some pliers and then get the end and pull it out. Okay, and that's basically your next step to do. Okay, so after you remove that, top A-arm one. This is, the top one is actually longer than the bottom one. Just a little tip on how to put it back together. This is the bottom, that's the top one, and these are the little things I was talking about that are in between them. At the ends in between. And also, some kits might give you additional ones, like these ones. These are 2 other pins for the FLM bulkhead. Okay, so after you've done that, then you can remove the suspension, the shocks, which is by one screw, another screw, which is already connected to the shock tower, which you already undid. So that should just pop right out. Okay, that's the next step.